Hello and welcome to your Java programming course, and in this video we're going to learn how to create a double variable as well as its parsing rules. And as we learned before, an integer variable is a variable that holds numbers. Well, a double is very similar to an integer. A double holds numbers as well as decimal places, as in an integer can hold 5, but a double can hold 5.5. So let's start by creating a double variable. It's as simple as an integer. We type in double, and let's just call it num equals 5.5 and close with a semicolon. And there you go, a double variable has been created. And to show you how they work, let's start by creating an output where we add a decimal to a decimal. So let's add num plus 6.7. When you run the program, it prints the result of 12.2, which is correct. It also works if you add an integer, so num plus 5 will get you 10.5. Now we're going to learn how to convert a double to a string to a double, an integer to a double, and a double to an integer. Now, converting a double to an integer is as simple as a string, except it has a slightly different code structure. Let's first start by creating our int variable, int I equals, and now we open up brackets, type in int, and then num, and close with a semicolon. What this does is converts the double to an integer. So now let's create an output where we print out I and add a number to it. So this will result in 10. You may be wondering, why doesn't the double 5.5 round up to 6 when converting to an integer? This is because it requires a separate function to round up. There are functions for rounding up numbers when converting to an integer, but it is not necessary for this course. Next, we're going to convert a double to a string. So let's first create our string variable, string word equals, and just like an integer, we have our double quotation marks and then we add the variable. We create our output, and in this case it would be word, and as you can see it prints 5.5, but as a string and no longer an integer. Now we've learned how to convert a double to an integer and a double to a string. Now let's learn how to convert it the other way around. First, let's learn how to convert an integer to a double. Let's first create an integer, I equals 5. Now we need to create our double variable, double num equals, and just simply type R. There is no need to convert numbers because double contains its own coding which will convert an integer to a double, as simple as that. So let's create an output, and you'll notice there's going to be a little difference to the number. It has its own point system, 5.0. So as you can see, it was successful in converting an integer to a double. So there is no real fuss when converting integers to doubles, but what about converting strings to double? Well, converting a string to a double is as simple as converting a string to an integer. So first, let's create our string variable, string word equals, and inside we'll create our double 5.7 this time. We now create our double variable, double num equals, and now we do the double dot parse double similar to the integer dot parse int. Double dot parse double, and inside we type in word and close with a semicolon, and we create our own output. Now in this output I'm going to put the num as well as adding a double so we can test if it works. In this case I'll add 0.3, so the output should be 6.0, and it is indeed. So we are successful in converting a string to a double. And with that, our instruction videos come to an end. In the next few videos, I'm going to be explaining a small project for you to work on. A simple program that allows you to experiment with the code you have learned as well as combine everything we have learned so far in creating a useful working program.